Still isn't.
A lot. It just kept going on, and that was 25 seconds, and it looks like they cut some of it. Obviously, like, this guy's gay, no hard feelings, but this is not how straight men
Ryan Reynolds is losing it now that Hugh Jackman has finally spilled the truth about their so-called platonic bromance.
going like, we need this AEO designation because their careers would be ruined if the public found something out about them.
But hey, can you really blame Jackman for letting it all out after getting sued by Marvel, his only career lifeline, because of this whole mess? I guess not. And Ryan, it's time to face the truth because the world has finally caught on to you.
If you blink, you might have missed it. Ryan Reynolds and Andrew Garfield shared a smooch.
What began as a case of sexual harassment allegations has quickly unraveled into something far more complex and messy. At the center of this legal storm is Blake Lively, whose involvement has sparked major speculation. Rumors are now swirling that Lively may have developed emotional ties to Baldoni while working on a project together, raising even more questions.
Is that Blake Lively developed some feelings for for Justin Baldoni on set. Has happened to her. She has been in love with Penn Badgley from, Gossip Girl, then she got with Ryan Reynolds. All these people, they're on set, and their job is to sell that they're falling in love.
But have you ever stopped to wonder why this happened? After 8 years of marriage, 4 kids, and a picture-perfect smile in every photo, what would make her fall for someone else? Well, maybe the answer lies in what it truly means to be a man who understands.
This is a fellow Canadian actor, Scott Thompson. Now, of that moment, we just have a photo of it.
And when that man turned you down, you decided to flip the script and hit him with a sexual harassment lawsuit. Now, I'm no fan of Blake. She's got a history of pushing people around. But this whole situation is starting to feel a lot more sinister, especially now that her husband is in the mix. Strangely, while it all began with her accusations, it's becoming more obvious that Reynolds is the one pulling the strings behind the scenes.
Meaning Justin Baldoni's team have been going after Ryan Reynolds for defamation, extortion, false light, intentional interference with contractual relations. They presented a very strong argument.
Reynolds' influence is impossible to ignore. He's deeply involved in every part of this case, using his power to manipulate both the media and the narrative. While some might assume he'd be focused on his marriage and the accusations against his wife, it seems like his real priority is protecting his ego rather than facing the personal issues with Lively.
And I would say, having reviewed this case, having from the very beginning noticed, I think I was kind of the first one who said, no, Ryan is problematic here, because I had a source that had said that to me, that Ryan was the person who came onto set and essentially took things over after Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively allegedly were getting along great. He was filming Deadpool Wolverine, came back, and then kind of just blew everything up, figuratively speaking.
Reynolds' involvement in the legal battle has sparked serious debate, with many wondering if he's using the case to settle personal scores or twisting the media narrative to his advantage. Just when things couldn't get more complicated, the speculation surrounding Lively's true role in all of this has only added another layer of mystery.
He has just been publicly humiliating Justin Baldoni as soon as he could, as many times as he could, and using as many A-list actors as he could.
Some speculate that Lively is merely a beard for Reynolds, a term often used in Hollywood to describe a public partner who helps maintain an image while concealing a deeper, more hidden reality.
Ryan's going to come to court and claim that he is wrongly named in this lawsuit. It just sort of offends my sensibilities a little bit.
There's speculation that Lively isn't just an innocent bystander in this scandal, but an active player in shaping public perception. This theory flips the narrative, suggesting she may be far more involved in the drama than people initially believed.
Keep writing yourself as a homosexual man into all of these various circumstances, and no one's allowed to question that. But anyways, he did file to be dismissed from the lawsuit, which I would say, by the way, that is standard. You're at first going to try to throw anything at the wall and say, Your Honor, I don't even want to be a part of this thing. This has nothing to do with me.
But while all eyes have been on Lively and Baldoni, the real shocker came from Hugh Jackman. Once a Hollywood favorite, his reputation took a major hit after being questioned by Baldoni's legal team. What happened next was nothing short of jaw-dropping.
What's that last line? Oh, he's gay. Oh, yeah. See, straight guys don't say that. There's nothing wrong with being gay in any way, but he definitely is.
Jackman, once an untouchable Marvel icon, suddenly found himself axed from the Deadpool franchise, a decision that sent shockwaves through Hollywood. With his future now uncertain, it seemed like his once thriving career was on the verge of collapse.
Was, in fact, a part of the bullying that happened to Justin Baldoni.
But Jackman refused to go down quietly. Determined to save his reputation and secure his future, he made a bold move. He exposed Ryan Reynolds. This wasn't just a career-saving play. It was a last-ditch effort to reclaim control over a narrative that had slipped beyond his grasp.
Hugh Jackman, Wolverine, will be deposed, and I suspect that might be making Ryan Reynolds extremely nervous, and I'll tell you why. Ryan Reynolds' bromances, his various bromances over the years. We've talked about him and Jake Gyllenhaal, and obviously this has been a bromance that has been very much thrown in the public space.
For years, Jackman and Reynolds were the ultimate Hollywood bromance, with their bond adored by fans and hyped by the media. But as new revelations surfaced, it became evident that their connection ran much deeper than just friendship.
Ryan's kind of perpetually highly publicizing his bromances is something that I find to be quite strange, right? Mostly because he's a 48-year-old man, Ryan Reynolds. He has 4 kids, and he seems to dedicate a lot of time and resources.
As Jackman faced deposition, the true depth of their relationship began to unfold. What once seemed like a simple friendship was now revealed to be far more complex. The private bond they shared, long whispered about behind closed doors, was now being forced into the public eye.
And why does he gush about his love for Hugh Jackman more than he does his own wife?
Jackman's revelations about his relationship with Reynolds shed new light on their bond, blurring the lines between friendship and something deeper. Their habit of calling each other life partners and sharing private conversations during their routine walk suddenly took on a whole new meaning, making people rethink what had once seemed like harmless banter.
On the top of page 1 of it, Blake Lively sued Jamie Heath, Justin Baldoni, etc. after they collectively launched a retaliatory social manipulation campaign to destroy and bury her because she privately spoke up about sexual harassment and inappropriate conduct.
The fallout from this scandal has been both swift and ruthless. Jackman, once a Hollywood icon thanks to his roles in Deadpool and Wolverine, now finds his career hanging by a thread. His sudden removal from the Deadpool franchise dealt a major blow to both his professional standing and public reputation. But the real shock came when his close relationship with Reynolds was exposed, sparking questions about the authenticity of Reynolds' marriage to Blake Lively. Was Lively simply a carefully crafted public figure, helping to uphold a family-friendly image while the truth about Reynolds' personal life remained hidden?
Financial resources to trying to convince the public that these bromances are perfectly normal. And we're not really asking for that convincing. Like, I don't need people to convince me that guys can hang out with one another, but he feels like he has to make that effort. So he's like, nothing's weird here, nothing's weird, bromances are so normal.
Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman's relationship has always intrigued fans, often being labeled a Hollywood bromance. However, those who know them, and even some outsiders, are beginning to question whether their bond goes deeper than just friendship. In Hollywood, the term bromance is commonly used to describe close male friendships filled with affection and camaraderie. But in the case of Reynolds and Jackman, their constant public praise and admiration for each other have only fueled further speculation.
Legally speaking, other than being a supportive spouse who has witnessed firsthand the emotional, reputational, and financial devastation that Miss Lively has suffered. And then they say nothing. He's got nothing to do with that whatsoever.
Reynolds, in particular, has often compared his bond with Jackman to a marriage, making remarks that have raised eyebrows, especially considering his own relationship with Blake Lively. In interviews, he frequently expresses deep admiration for Jackman, describing him as a constant source of support, and even referring to him as his life partner. This level of affection has led many to question whether their connection goes beyond just friendship.
And so the fact that we need a term to describe 2 men going out to dinner, I think, is very revealing about what men are.
In one interview, Reynolds casually remarked that the key to a long-lasting Hollywood friendship isn't much different from maintaining a marriage. While the comment seemed harmless, it takes on a deeper meaning when viewed in the context of his personal life. He openly expresses this sentiment about Jackman, yet his words about his wife, Blake Lively, carry a noticeably different tone. Despite being married for over a decade, Reynolds has never publicly conveyed the same level of emotional depth for Lively as he does for Jackman. This stark contrast has fueled speculation that his relationships may not be as straightforward as they seem.
Weird thing for them to be trying to constantly tell us, and he's always playing this role of kind of making a lot of gay jokes and like trying to normalize all of these gay jokes, but nobody's actually asking him to do.
Jackman has been a constant presence in Reynolds' life, but their public interactions have raised eyebrows for both the right and wrong reasons. Reynolds has openly praised Jackman in interviews, calling him an invaluable friend who offers unbelievable advice. However, the depth of his admiration seems to place Jackman in a role far more significant than one would expect, especially given Reynolds' marriage to Lively. It almost feels as though Jackman has become more than just a friend, playing a central role in both Reynolds' personal and professional life in ways that blur the lines of a typical friendship.
No judgment from me, but Hugh Jackman has been plagued with rumors of homosexuality throughout his entire career. It has been speculated.
When comparing Reynolds' dynamic with Jackman to his relationship with Lively, a stark contrast emerges. While Lively is undeniably a major part of his life and the mother of his children, their public interactions often lack the same emotional depth. In contrast, Reynolds frequently speaks about Jackman with a level of admiration and intensity rarely seen when discussing his wife. For a man married to one of Hollywood's most famous actresses, his reluctance to express affection for Lively publicly has raised eyebrows, especially when placed next to his overwhelming praise for Jackman.
They had done this thing where they were very heavily implying that Ryan Reynolds was gay. Unbeknownst to me, Ryan Reynolds actually played Ryan Reynolds in The Family.
Reynolds' participation in various skits and roles that humorously explore themes of homosexuality has only added more fuel to the ongoing speculation.
You gotta taste this lamb tagine. Here.
Oh, that's okay.
Come on, you'll love it. Just a taste. That was intense, what you just did.
Ryan Reynolds, whether in movies like Deadpool or shows like Family Guy, has consistently delivered comedic moments that challenge and redefine traditional masculinity.
He acquiesced to this, and it's not the first time that he's done it, where he's written himself into a skit and wanted it to be about homosexuality. It's just a coincidence.
These moments frequently play with the idea of same-sex attraction, blurring the line between pure comedy and a possible glimpse into Reynolds' genuine thoughts or insecurities.
Whoops. Oh, freeze frame. What's gonna happen next?
I think I gotta go to the bathroom.
One of the most talked about moments fueling speculation was Ryan Reynolds' unexpected kiss with Andrew Garfield at the Golden Globe Awards. Though meant as a joke, the playful gesture quickly sparked rumors about Reynolds' sexuality.
Ryan Reynolds also did this skit. There was a lot of funny humor about the fact that he was not Ryan Gosling, because women, obviously, during the time The Notebook came out, preferred Ryan Gosling. They loved Ryan Gosling.
Although Reynolds and Garfield laughed it off, the moment only intensified speculation about Reynolds' personal life. Fans and critics alike couldn't help but question whether it was simply a joke or if Reynolds was deliberately playing with public perceptions of his sexuality.
Notebook preferring to redo those scenes with men, I suppose. I'm not Ryan Gosling, hence the Andrew Garfield's kiss at the Golden Globes. We'll get to that. But watch this between him and Conan O'Brien.
Reynolds has crafted a larger-than-life public persona, one that closely mirrors his iconic Deadpool character. While his quick wit and humor define this image, it also acts as a shield for deeper insecurities. In many ways, he has built his reputation around being the endlessly sarcastic, fun-loving guy who never seems to take things too seriously.
It wasn't over. It still isn't.
The kiss is still happening. The kiss is still happening. It's still happening.
However, this persona often comes across as a defense mechanism, allowing him to deflect deeper questions about his personal life. His frequent participation in skits and roles that play with same-sex attraction could be a way to downplay the intensity of the rumors, subtly steering public attention away from lingering questions about his emotional life.
And he had a moment with Patrick Warburton, and they decided to be funny and kiss.
As Jackman's deposition unfolded and his public remarks about his relationship with Reynolds came to light, it became evident that their bond ran deeper than many had assumed. In an effort to defend himself and safeguard his career, Jackman openly acknowledged the depth of his emotional connection with Reynolds. His comments about their life partnership and the unwavering support they've shared over the years only fueled further speculation. What once appeared to be a light-hearted, public-friendly bromance now seemed to hint at something far more profound, something that had been hiding in plain sight for years.
There's nothing wrong with being gay in any way, but he definitely is. Oh, he is. This is from 2017.
Public perception of Reynolds and Jackman's relationship has taken a dramatic turn. What was once seen as a playful, lighthearted bromance has now become a subject of serious debate about the fine line between deep friendship and something more. As Jackman's revelations continue to make headlines, the world is left questioning. Is this just a close friendship, or is there a deeper, more complex connection that neither actor is fully ready to acknowledge?
I'm willing to commit to a bit. An impassioned kiss?
Now, growing attention is being drawn to the long-standing debate over Blake Lively's role in her marriage to Ryan Reynolds. Speculation has swirled for years, but recent legal drama involving Reynolds and his interactions with Justin Baldoni has reignited the conversation. The idea of Lively serving as a Hollywood beard isn't a new one, yet the specifics of her relationship with Reynolds are raising fresh questions. In Hollywood, a beard typically refers to someone, often a woman, who helps a public figure, usually a man, maintain a certain image while concealing their true sexuality. The term has long been linked to relationships that appear more strategic than romantic, and many are now wondering if it applies to Lively and Reynolds.
Is this what 47 and 55-year-old men, do you feel as though, even with friends you do business with, that your friendship is like a marriage?
Speculation about Lively's role as a Hollywood beard gained momentum following revelations about her alleged emotional affair with Justin Baldoni. Reports suggest that Lively and Baldoni formed a deep connection while collaborating on a project, with some even labeling it an emotional affair. This rumored relationship has become a focal point in the ongoing legal battle, with many believing it played a key role in triggering Reynolds' intense reaction.
That straight men don't have. We don't.
Lively's emotional connection with Baldoni, though not physical, seemed to rattle Reynolds to his core. The possibility that she may have developed genuine feelings for another man adds a new layer of complexity to the narrative of their marriage. Given how deeply Reynolds' public image and ego are tied to his personal life, this situation exposed fractures in what once appeared to be a perfect relationship. His intense reaction is now being seen by some as a desperate attempt to regain control.
That's all that's happening. He's a closeted gay man, and that's just, when you deny yourself that truth, you're just gonna do weird, crazy shit.
In many ways, Lively's role in her relationship with Reynolds seems more about public perception than a genuine partnership. For years, they have been portrayed as one of Hollywood's golden couples, with their marriage showcased in interviews, magazine spreads, and carefully curated social media posts, all reinforcing the image of a loving, supportive duo. However, behind the scenes, it's becoming increasingly evident that Lively's role may have less to do with deep emotional connection and more with upholding the illusion of a perfect Hollywood family.
And everyone around you is gonna have a hard time because you're like trying to fit this square piece in a circle.
Lively's apparent public role in the relationship has become even more complicated by Reynolds' actions. His intense reaction to her emotional connection with Baldoni, coupled with his ongoing legal maneuvers, suggests that maintaining his public image is his top priority, perhaps even more than the inner dynamics of his marriage. In this light, Lively's role as a possible beard may be directly linked to Reynolds' deep-seated need to safeguard his carefully crafted public persona.
Time he separates from his wife, and you just wonder, if that's also partially the reason why Blake's team is adamant that they need this AEO determination.
One of the most intriguing elements of the legal battle between Reynolds and Baldoni is the attorney's eyes only AEO designation pushed by Lively's legal team. This designation is a legal tool that limits access to highly sensitive information, ensuring that only attorneys can review certain documents. Lively's team sought to invoke the AEO status to safeguard information that could potentially harm the careers of third parties.
They want the judge to agree to an attorney's eyes only designation to protect, as they term it, highly confidential information that could destroy the careers of the third-party people that are involved.
This request carries significant weight in the case, as it suggests that Lively and Reynolds were actively trying to keep certain details of the affair and its surrounding drama hidden from public scrutiny. The push to classify documents as AEO raises pressing questions. What information do these documents contain? And why is it considered so sensitive that it could damage careers if exposed? The secrecy surrounding them only deepens the intrigue, hinting at potentially explosive revelations that could further complicate public perception of Lively's marriage to Reynolds.
They're third parties and they're going to get deposed and we're going to get to subpoena some information, and they're going like, we need this AEO designation because their careers would be ruined if the public found something out about them.
In many ways, the push for the AEO designation reflects the broader pattern of secrecy and control within the Reynolds-Lively relationship. Just as Reynolds has meticulously managed his public image and career, Lively's legal team is working to keep any potentially damaging information out of the public eye, reinforcing their shared commitment to maintaining a carefully crafted narrative.
Just imagine what we're going to find when we can read text messages between him and Hugh Jackman.
The request for AEO documents further supports the idea that Lively's role in this saga is less about being a traditional partner and more about acting as a protective shield for Reynolds' career. By keeping potentially damaging information under wraps, both Reynolds and Lively's team are working tirelessly to preserve the illusion of a perfect marriage and family, despite the reality unfolding behind the scenes.
Justin Baldoni and co. are alleging is that they were behind the scenes in order to receive what? Well, control over the movie, right? There is evidence that this is exactly what Ryan Reynolds and his wife did in order to take control of the movie, that they went to the studio heads.
Meanwhile, Reynolds' legal battle with Baldoni continues to intensify. Baldoni's lawsuit against Reynolds focuses on allegations of defamation, extortion, and false light, claiming that Reynolds leveraged his Hollywood influence in an attempt to destroy his career.
Ryan Reynolds did call Justin Baldoni a predator.
Baldoni claims that Reynolds not only used his influence to tarnish his reputation publicly, but also labeled him a predator to a WME agent, an accusation Baldoni argues is defamatory.
Remember, they had in their lawsuit said that he went up to a guy that worked at WME. This was allegedly at the Deadpool and Wolverine premiere, and said, you need to let go of him from WME because he's a sexual predator.
These accusations highlight a broader pattern of Reynolds allegedly manipulating the narrative around Baldoni, using his influence to control public perception. Many see Reynolds' involvement in the lawsuit as an attempt to silence Baldoni and safeguard his own reputation, an effort that has only drawn more scrutiny as new details about the affair and Reynolds' actions continue to emerge.
And their argument to that is, well, Ryan believed that that was true. Ryan believed that he was a predator, and therefore, this is not problematic because he believed.
One of the most serious claims in Baldoni's lawsuit is that Reynolds deliberately orchestrated a smear campaign to ruin his reputation in Hollywood. This allegation implies that Reynolds' actions extended beyond a personal conflict, forming part of a broader effort to derail Baldoni's career.
The entirety of the plaintiff's defamation claim appears to be based on the 2 times that Mr. Reynolds allegedly called Mr. Baldoni a predator, but the FAC, which is just the initial filing, the filing of the amended complaint, alleges no plausible facts that suggest that Mr. Reynolds did not believe this comment to be true.
The allegation that Reynolds labeled Baldoni a predator and attempted to use his influence to have a film studio drop him raises serious ethical concerns about his conduct. Beyond these claims, Reynolds is also accused of employing extortion, tactics to manipulate a film's production, allegedly threatening to release damaging information about Baldoni to get his way.
calling someone a predator amounts to constitutionally protected opinion. So I want to tell you that this is actually the strongest part of their argument that's being made, because I will say truthfully, it's a good defense. It's not strong enough to get him dropped from this lawsuit or dismissed, but an actual belief in the claim would be sufficient enough to prove that there was no actual malice, right? That Ryan Reynolds was not acting in reckless disregard to the truth.
This further highlights concerns about Reynolds' willingness to go to extreme lengths to protect his public image and career, even at the expense of others. In his defense, Reynolds has argued that his statements about Baldoni being a predator were merely his personal opinion and are protected under free speech. However, this justification has been met with widespread skepticism.
I actually do believe that Ryan Reynolds has demonstrated that he's a narcissist. He's a total narcissist. He cannot comprehend a world. I truly believe he cannot comprehend a world in which him and his wife are not liked.
Many observers argue that Reynolds' statements were made with malicious intent, and Baldoni's lawsuit for defamation and extortion only reinforces the idea that Reynolds' words and actions weren't just protected speech. They were a deliberate attempt to damage Baldoni's career.
This entire lawsuit, I believe, happened because him and Blake Lively were deluded enough to believe that it was inorganic traffic online. Like this, there's no way people don't like us. We're so wonderful, we're so amazing, we're so hot, we're so pretty, our friends are rich, we know Taylor Swift, the world loves us.
The controversy over Reynolds' defense of his free speech rights underscores the complexity of the case and raises ethical concerns about how public figures wield their influence to damage others' reputations.
Judge would have to believe that in the process, the next process which has to take place, which would be the limited discovery, that they wouldn't actually find that he did explicitly defame him in text messages.
In the legal battle between Reynolds and Baldoni, accusations of defamation, extortion, and smear campaigns portray a man determined to safeguard his public image, no matter the consequences. Reynolds' readiness to leverage his Hollywood influence to shape media narratives is evident, but the lingering question remains: at what cost?
It's just going to be that he called him a predator. I don't think that's the case. I don't think the judge is going to believe that's the case. If he was behaving that way publicly, just imagine what his text messages are going to say about Justin Baldoni.
The lawsuit not only brings serious legal and ethical concerns to light, but also reveals the darker side of Reynolds' ego and his relentless need to control his public image. As the case continues to evolve, the stakes remain high, not just for Reynolds and Baldoni, but for everyone entangled in the fallout. With new developments emerging daily, be sure to like and subscribe to stay updated on the latest updates.